Hey, animal chiropractic friends. I'm here today with Dr. Giuliano. She is an amazing chiropractor up in Massachusetts. She and her husband, Peter Kevorkian, run a really amazing clinic. I've been there. It's fantastic and beautiful. But she will also be speaking with us live here at Base Camp, September 15th, 16th, and 17th. And so we're really excited. We can't wait for her to come to see us at Base Camp. Let's give her a really warm welcome. Thank you, Dr. Giuliano, for taking some time out to talk to us today.
Hey, thanks, Amy. And let's not be so formal. It's either
okay.
Patti, Dr. Patti, Patti's fine. Plus, I'm retired now, so.
But we want people to know that you have credentials and you have experience and that you have so many valuable things to share with them.
Thank you.
So tell me. So tell us a little bit about what's new for you, what's going on right now.
Okay.
And then I've got a couple questions for you.
Okay, great. So I've been in chiropractic practice for 40 years. I started when I was 10. And if you
I knew that.
I mean, look, don't I look like I'm 50?
You look like you're about, you look like you're about 35.
Hey, I like that. I'm actually younger than I think I am. So it's been a wonderful, amazing journey. Most things in life have come very easy for me, and starting a practice, as well as, having a successful practice on my own before I met Dr. Peter, it came easy to me, like most things that I kind of put my mind to. And it doesn't mean easy in the sense that it doesn't take time, energy, and a lot of hard work, because I'm up for that. Even at this point in my life, being retired, I'm up for whatever's going to come my way. Whatever I create, I will put my time, my energy, and my hard work into that. That's just who I am. That's how I was built. The hardest thing I've ever done in my life is have kids. And the birthing part was easy. It is the maintenance of them. And they are 34 and 36. And
because you had that when you were 12.
Yeah. So I would like to say that it's getting easier. It just the challenges change, and I've written about that in my book. I wrote a book that's coming out hopefully in January 2024. Am I allowed to swear, Amy?
You can say whatever you want.
Oh, okay. The book is called Holy Shit, I'm Gonna Be a Mom. What was I thinking? And it's stories and lessons that I learned through the different stories that happened in my husband's and my children's lives, and it follows a theme of, you'll have answers. You'll have some answers if you know who you are, what your values are, and what your beliefs are, and how confident you are in that, and that's one of your taglines, is confidence, and then is connections and community. And I feel like that's a perfect segue, because that's what raising kids needs. You need to have confidence. You need to make connections, find your tribe, and community. And then within your community of your parents, your siblings, your whole family. And then for me, my chiropractic family, who, is in the same, most of them are in the same state that I live in. A lot of them are, throughout the country, but I see some of them more than I see some of my family members, because I'm a Jersey girl and now I'm in Massachusetts. So I don't get to see them as much as I used to growing up. So having community helped me in my parenting to this day. And the other theme is use your God-given talents and wisdom and genius and intuition. Use that just in anything, in everything. So as a parent, I had to rely on that. And thank God I did rely on that, because it has helped me to really make the best decisions for us and our family, our children. And then the last thing, and sometimes I had to fake this till I made it, was unconditional love. Yes, I love my kids. Sometimes I don't like them so much, but the same goes for my husband. I love him dearly. Sometimes I don't like him so much. And with kids, especially, it took me years to get pregnant. I just found that when they came, and it was so hard for me, in many ways, you'll have to read the book to see. It was a challenge.
Don't give it all away.
What's that?
Don't give it all away.
Oh, okay. No, I had expectations, and those expectations did not come about. When I had my first child, it was like, okay, I'm going to put you on my back, and in a couple of days, we're going to go down to the office and we're going to keep adjusting patients. And that did not happen. So the unconditional love part really comes where I always look for the blessings in people, and you cannot love other people unconditionally unless you love yourself unconditionally. So that's been a process in my life, and that's a project that is still unfolding in my life.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So that brings us back to why are we here? We're here because I get to speak on your stage to your people, your attendees, and I loved your tagline, or your mission statement of confidence, connections, and community, because I felt like I could bring my chiropractic kind of philosophical bend to all of that in how I introduce people to chiropractic. So whether you're introducing a person who has an animal who's going to start chiropractic care, or whether you're introducing it to a human being who's going to be coming in themselves or bringing their children in, I believe it's the same kind of introduction. You use the same type of words. You might exchange your baby for your animal. But I feel like on the first and second visit, which are the most important visits, because you are introducing people to a new way of thinking very often, and a new way of possibly being with themselves or their family, or their extended to their animal family. And I feel like I'm really good at that. I have, in the past 40 years, introduced over 8,000 individual people to concepts of health and healing, and that there is this innate wisdom genius inside all living things that really knows what it needs to do. It just needs nothing to interfere with it. And to teach people about interferences, and how the interferences that I will deal with and the interferences that they can deal with. Excuse me, I gotta drink some water here.
Get some water.
Woo! I better slow down. You should talk a little bit, Amy.
I've got something to add to what you've been saying. So I think that's so important that we talk to, and that we support our animal chiropractors in their ability to keep building that community and to keep bringing that message.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with one of my other employees earlier today, who pointed out that it's hard for people who aren't in this community to even understand how chiropractic can possibly create those healing moments. We had there was a little incident where I spoke to a veterinarian earlier this week about her own dog, and how chiropractic could actually help that dog get better. And I found a chiropractor nearby for her to go see. And she opted for going to the neurologist instead, who told her that it was a poor prognosis and they elected to put the dog down.
Oh, oh, that
And
would be so sad.
it,
Oh,
it's heartbreaking for me because I know that chiropractic could have helped that dog live a successful life. But for someone who is outside of that thought process and who has a community that tells them things like, it's going to be a poor prognosis, you should probably put it down.
yeah.
It just means that we need so many more of us to be able to communicate and connect and help with other people's, the story they're telling themselves.
Yeah, it's challenging. And did she listen to them?
Yeah. So they put the dog to sleep instead. But it's not unusual to hear that kind of story, because for that very reason.
Yeah,
think about what's on TV and what people are seeing in the,
right, right. So I don't know what you said to her, how you said it. I tend to, with people that are not inside our circles, I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions. So I would ask her, do you believe that your dog has an inborn ability to heal from the inside out? Do you have that belief? And if you do, understand that it's not chiropractic that heals your dog. It is the life energy, the life inside of your dog, that your dog feels that from you and will feel that from the chiropractor. But beyond that, the chiropractor will clear interference between the brain and the tissues and allow those tissues to be able to communicate back to the brain. Does that make sense to you? You went to vet school, you understand this, like speaking to her, you understand this, right? You understand that nerves that are not functioning can cause the body not to function. And I don't look at it as a spinal nerve comes out, goes to heart, or spinal nerve comes out, goes to kidney. I look at it as any pressure that's being put on that spinal structure, or that spinal structure actually putting pressure onto the very delicate and special spinal cord that's coming down that canal. Any pressure anywhere on that spinal cord is going to affect what? And I would say to her, what would it affect? Would it affect upstream, or would it affect downstream, or would it just affect that nerve coming out? And 9 times out of 10, my patients will say to me, oh, Dr. Patti, it's going to affect everything going upstream and downstream. I'm like, voila. So now you got the understanding that I can't look at you and say, oh, you have a pain here, so it's this nerve. I'm going to check your whole spinal cord to make sure that all the pressure is taken off. So I would challenge a veterinarian like that, and I would say, the neurology, right? And
No, they don't. And that's a part of it for veterinarians.
Seriously?
That she went to a neurologist who should know that neurology, but doesn't have that level of understanding. And that's one of the challenges that we face in helping some of these veterinarians understand what's going on.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, it's your dog, you love your dog. Wouldn't you try anything before anything? I mean, as long as you know it's not going to hurt them, try it. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God.
That's where the frustration comes in sometimes.
Yeah. So
is helping them understand that, let's do chiropractic first, because we can always do euthanasia. That can come later.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy. Yeah,
but I think
long way to go, honey.
We do, but I think here's part of the key. And I think you'll understand this. It's the conversation that people have about pain. And, oh, I don't want my dog to be in pain. And you and I both know that pain sometimes can be a good thing. and that pain can, in our pain, one of the things we know about animals is that pain is not really high on their priority list.
Yeah.
They can have a broken leg and still go make puppies, because they'll do things like that.
I think most men.
So men, same thing. Oh man, it's going to be a fun base camp. I can't wait.
Oh, you said be me. I'm being me.
We want you to be you, because that's what's going to make base camp so amazing. So we're so looking forward to base camp, and we can't wait till you're here to help our attendees learn some new perspectives and some ways to help their clients.
Yeah.
And in particular, those other colleagues that they work with on a day-to-day basis, some of who are those veterinarians. Yeah. So I love the way that you use the Socratic method, basically, the thinking, question and asking method, as a way to be compassionate to those people who, may not quite understand what chiropractic is, and to help them learn at their rate, at their own rate, instead of at our rate, where we say, no, just do it now. Just adjust, and you can ask questions later.
Yeah. Well, we've been in this for a long time, Amy. Me longer than you, but
yeah, you a lot longer than me. 10 years, maybe 15.
Yeah. So I really try to put myself in the place of, like, they're kindergartners just coming into school, and you don't hit a kindergartner with everything. You do it in a gradient. And I always have to keep reminding myself, when that new person comes in the door, when that new vet or new chiropractor goes into practice, they don't know what they don't know, and for us to just pile all this shit on top of them is not the way, so if we can give them bite-sized pieces, and I will really be cognizant to do that in my presentation at base camp, to really, take off bite-sized pieces and send them home with some bite-sized pieces, so they can just, gradually, get to the point where things will flow out of their mouth as easily as they flow out of my mouth, especially with people who are, I love people who are skeptics. They're my favorite people. They always were, and because I feel like I have a way to kind of, I get to be an affinity with them, because I love connecting with people. And as I do that, then they begin to have trust, and they'll listen, be more likely to listen than if I hit them with a barrage of stuff and make them wrong. And you can't do that with people. You don't want to burn bridges and make people wrong,
Exactly. So. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear your talk at base camp. And I know there are lots of doctors who are going to be attending who can't wait also. So for those people so here's something, I don't know if you know this, but so we have 2 levels that people can join us at base camp.
Okay.
We've actually sort of switched it up in the last couple of weeks. There's 2 levels. So one level is for those doctors who are animal chiropractors and need CE. It's almost all the CE they need for the whole year. And for those doctors who are chiropractors, we have 5 credit hours for chiropractors this year.
Wow.
Also.
That's awesome. Through who?
Yeah. Which they can get from sitting at home and listening to Dr. Patti give you some pretty amazing information. So those are 2 things. The other part is, maybe you don't need that CE, but you want to come and attend because there's going to be such cool stuff. And so we do have a level for that, and that's the $197, so $197, and you get to attend the whole weekend, and you get all the cool stuff, but you don't get the CE because you just don't need it.
Yeah.
Are you
going to feed them?
They are not going to get fed. Those are virtual. Those are for the virtual attendees.
Okay.
Most of our attendees will be virtual this year. because they're going to have an amazing experience. Dr. Patti, you got to come in through the dashboard and saw it a little bit, but that dashboard is still being constructed, and it will have a lot of it'll have speaker information on it for each of our speakers.
Okay.
So you'll get to know way more about their lives, even than I do, if you want. There's information about our sponsors on that dashboard. There will also be resources that people can download, and there will be a schedule, so you'll know exactly when each speaker is speaking. And there'll be some really fun things. So it's going to be, and there's going to be a lot of interaction. So even our speakers will be interacting with our attendees and answering some of their questions personally, face to face, just like we are.
Love it.
We can't wait to see you there.
Love it.
So looking forward. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me today.
Oh, you're welcome.
We will see everybody September 15th, 16th, and 17th at Base Camp. Find it at animalchiropracticeducation.com. Under the courses, click Base Camp.